What's going on, guys? Nick Swetnam here for NXT Wrestling with your Monday Night Raw review for the 4th of November 2019. Right, we kick things off with Triple H pulling up. A bunch of cars pull up, so we know something's going to happen tonight with NXT already. We just don't know what yet. The show kicks off as normal. We had obviously the introduction, we had the fireworks. I'm so glad they got the pyro back in general. And then we kick things off, of course, with Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar comes out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman cuts his usual awesome promo. A little bit confusing. Apparently now, because Brock Lesnar's contract has changed, he now apparently can't be fired, which is interesting. I guess they've got to come up with some reason for this. But it's a reason nonetheless. The promo was good. And then essentially the vibe of this promo is they're trying to find Rey Mysterio and he wants to get his revenge for being humiliated at Crown Jewel. We then cut to Brock Lesnar at the back. God, I mean, there's a couple of guys here who I feel very sorry for. So I thought this is hilarious, right? He grabs one of the guys on the table. He's literally, where is Rey Mysterio? Like, bashing his head against the table and then just flings the guy off. The guy lands right on his ass. I mean, God, that's got to literally, if that doesn't break his coccyx, I don't know what will. But hey, the guy seems maybe he's all right. He then goes over to a limousine, practically rips the door off the limousine. Sorry, I think it might be another car, but whatever it was. Grabbed the guy out of it and just flung him on his ass as well. And then we cut to our first match of the night. So we've got Natalya and Charlotte Flair teaming up to take on the Kabuki Warriors, who, don't forget, are the tag team champions. So this match, you know, it's an okay match. As you're going to see tonight with my Raw review, all the matches were okay. So that's really a bit of a spoiler alert there. But Charlotte and Natalya get the win. So what are they doing here? Are they going to make Charlotte and Natalya a tag team and have them win the tag team titles? Because if they don't, it's absolutely pointless. It makes no sense whatsoever for the Kabuki Warriors to be losing to Charlotte and Natalya just for the sake of it. It makes them look weak. It doesn't make them look strong at all. Considering especially that Asuka tapped out to the sharpshooter so easily. I mean, this was one of the biggest women's wrestlers a year or two ago. And now, even at the beginning of the year, she was facing Becky Lynch. She beat Becky Lynch in the Royal Rumble. And now she's tapping out to Natalya. No shame in that. But in an unadvertised tag team match on TV, it doesn't make any sense to me at all unless they're going to go for the tag team titles and actually win the tag team titles and then have some kind of rivalry down the line. Okay, guys, then Brock Lesnar comes back out again looking for Rey Mysterio. He goes up to Jerry Lawler and it looks like he's going to do something to Jerry Lawler. Now, obviously, I was hoping this wouldn't happen because it means there'd be no Jerry Lawler for the rest of the night. And then Dion gets up right in Brock Lesnar's face. You knew what was coming. Big F5 onto the table. He's out of it. And of course, we've got Jerry Lawler and we've got Vic Cole. I'm just going to call him Vic Cole because he's basically Michael Cole clone, or Michael Clone. We can call him either one of the two. Carrying on commentary. So that's cool. Got him out of the picture for the night. So it ended up being a two-man booth, which I generally prefer anyway. Up next, Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy. Not much to talk about here, guys. It was an okay match again, but there's not really much going on. I mean, these matches, if they had NXT quality matches on Raw, this Raw would have been awesome. It would have been a really good Raw. It was okay. We got Buddy Murphy picking up the win against Cedric Alexander. Buddy Murphy's trying to ground Cedric Alexander the entire time. Cedric does a couple of high spots. In the end, Buddy gets the victory. Not too long a match. And, it sort of raises Buddy's stock, but doesn't do much for Cedric. Right, we then see Seth Rollins coming out to cut a promo on the crowd to say, that firstly, he didn't give a damn about being booed by them, which, you've got to admire. But at the same time, what's next for Seth Rollins? Then, of course, we hear Triple H's music. Triple H comes out to the ring and cuts a promo on Seth Rollins, telling Seth that, when he was with him, every time, he's always gone places. And if he doesn't know what to do next, Triple H is like, you know what to do next. And that is, essentially, to come to NXT and be the man over there again. Help to sort of win this brand supremacy battle by joining NXT. Seth, of course, doesn't go for this straight away. They then cut to the back, and then they announce that it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Adam Cole with the NXT title on the line. So, Even though for some reason you're going into a weekly show every week without announcing a main event beforehand and not even having one beforehand, we now have a main event for the night. I know it makes no sense, guys, to announce a main event sort of, a third away into the show, but that's what it is. So we now have a main event, Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins, for later in the show. Okay, so now what we've got is WWE are now going to have a mixed tag team match with Zelina Vega and Andrade taking on Sin Cara and Catalina. Now, once again, an okay match, nothing wrong with it, but it's just okay. I've got to say tonight, the crowd as well, and we'll talk about this more later, but the crowd was dead tonight. I thought the crowd, bar a few spots with Brock, I didn't really find the crowd particularly exciting. They were really, really boring. There was so much dead air tonight. This match, once again, was okay. Zelina Vega, of course, doing her thing on the outside with Sin Cara, and Andrade and Zelina Vega getting the victory. So you know what's coming up next. Yep, it's that time of the week. It's the Lana and Bobby Lashley affair storyline coming up. Now, Rusev comes out to the ring. He's obviously got a bit of stubble now. I think he's growing back his beard because the moustache, let's face it, makes him look absolutely stupid. It's not 1985 anymore. He comes out, he talks about Lana, and then Lana comes out telling us that Bobby Lashley has an injured groin. Now, you could see this coming a mile off, I mean, unless you're 5 years old. Of course, he didn't injure it at Crown Jewel. He injured it by having so much sex with Lana. Because apparently he can go like no one else, and that's why he got injured, because he can go like no one else in the sack, yet he's got a pulled groin. Does that make any sense? I have no friggin' idea, guys. But at the end of the day, Lana says and Bobby Lashley says they're going to have someone to replace Bobby Lashley tonight, which really actually pisses me off quite a lot, because it's Drew McIntyre. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Drew McIntyre. He comes out, they have an okay, I keep saying it again, the match was alright, nothing special. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Randy Orton came in and RKO's Rusev. Like, what the hell's going on? So you've got Bobby Lashley, who, by the way, now isn't injured. Bobby Lashley's off his crutches. He's beating on Rusev as well. We've got Drew McIntyre sort of seems to kind of just be kind of disappearing out of it. And then Ricochet comes out randomly, saves Rusev, and we now have this Ricochet-Rusev alignment. I don't know what Randy Orton's doing with Randy Orton with Drew McIntyre. Is he with Bobby Lashley? Why is Drew McIntyre always getting put in these little weird alliances? They're not factions. Drew McIntyre needs to be on his own. He's got the size, he's got the look. Drew McIntyre needs to be like almost like the next Triple H here, not some guy who comes out and gets involved in affair storylines. You know, he's been back for what, 2 weeks? And already he's gone from like, they brought him back as maybe an 8 on the scale out of 10, now he's dropped down to a 6 or 7. So I'm WWE, what the hell are you doing with Drew McIntyre? Sort your lives out and get Drew McIntyre sorted out, because he could literally be one of the best wrestlers on the entire roster if you just actually pulled the trigger on the guy. As for Randy Orton, I do not know what the hell's going on with him either. He is obviously going around RKO everyone. They're going to build up to Survivor Series for brand supremacy, even though Randy Orton wasn't out tonight later on, as we'll talk about. But Randy Orton, I have no idea what they are going to do with you. We then cut to the back, and I'm always happy to see Charlie Crusoe. She is doing an interview with Becky Lynch, talking about her upcoming triple threat match at Survivor Series. I think it's triple threat, unless they're going to do some kind of elimination. But it's going to be Becky Lynch taking on Bayley, taking on Shayna Baszler. All 3 champs, of course, from each brand. And lo and behold, Shayna Baszler turns up at the interview room, sits down. They talk about, obviously, how they know Ronda Rousey. And Becky says how she beat her friend Ronda Rousey. And that, you know, they are going to kind of keep Bayley aside. They're going to keep their eye on Bayley, but Bayley's kind of been pushed out to the side now. And it's going to be all about Becky and Shayna Baszler. They want to make each other pin, or they want to make each other tap out. Obviously, Bayley won't take this lying down on SmackDown, I'm sure, and she's going to come out fighting as the new heel with Sasha in her corner. This promo was decent. I actually really like this. I think that Shayna Baszler, Becky Lynch could be a main event match for many, many months to come. Okay, so we've got the OC taking on the Street Profits. Now, this is all the OC taking on the Street Profits with, of course, Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Carrillo, because they sound so similar. They came out and they cut a very, in my opinion, weak and childish promo saying that, oh, we beat you last week. Oh, we beat you last week. And then, of course, Alberto Carrillo, they beat you last week. It's like, I don't care. It's not entertaining. It's not funny. The Street Profits say, oh, okay, but I just thought this was just a bit lame, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm just not a big fan of the Street Profits' promos because they keep saying the word fam all the time. But apart from that, you know, the match was, once again, it was okay. AJ Styles cheating to get the victory on Alberto Carrillo by getting on the ropes. None of these matches stuck out tonight at all, guys. The promos, apart from the Street Profits ones that they had just now, have been good tonight, and the storylines have been good. But the wrestling tonight, I've not been a huge fan of. It's been very, very just kind of standard, and I think the crowd didn't help either. Which now brings me to a dud match. The Viking Raiders, they're the champs. They're coming out and taking what they call the Cardigan Boys or the Jumper Boys or whatever they were called. I don't really give a shit. Whatever they were called, they came out, they squashed them as they would do. Boring. They cut a promo about their triple threat, which is cool. They are going to have this match, which could be really good. They're good in the ring, the Viking Raiders, don't get me wrong. But I just find them a bit one-dimensional and a bit boring. I'm not going to lie. They're not, they're Vikings. But there's no real storyline with them. They're just Vikings who come out and pillage, apparently, and well, they win matches, but I haven't really seen them actually pillage anything yet. If it was me, I'd have them backstage doing promos, out the back actually doing that, beating up people, pillaging them, robbing them, taking their stuff. That would be more entertaining than them just coming out every week and having squash matches. They're great in the ring, don't get me wrong, but there's only so far you can go with that before you've actually got to do something creative with them. In our main event, guys, we had, well, none other than Seth Rollins taking on Adam Cole for the NXT title. Triple H coming out with him. And then we actually sort of see this match starting out. The crowd were dead for this, guys. It's such a shame because this could have been a better match. But I think when you've got a dead crowd and you've only really got, what, 10 minutes to go, you can't really tell the kind of story that you want to tell on an NXT TakeOver or WrestleMania or even a pay-per-view. I think that this match should have really been given a sort of, right, guys, this is WrestleMania. This is, you know, one of the biggest matches of your lives. Go out and steal the show. It wasn't. It was underwhelming. I'm really got to be honest with you. It was okay. It wasn't bad. Nothing wrong with it. But underwhelming. I didn't get excited about it. There was no time to. And then obviously the ending was very predictable. NXT guys coming out, attacking Seth Rollins. WWE guys coming out as well. Had a couple of high spots with Ricochet and with Keith Lee both coming over the top rope onto the outside. Look, I know it's building up for Survivor Series and we've still got a few weeks to go for Survivor Series. If it was me, they could have done a switch with Seth Rollins and take the title. The only problem with that is you would effectively be potentially turning the Undisputed Era face. So that's a reason why that obviously couldn't happen. What I would have liked, though, is Seth Rollins with the match. Adam Cole actually beats Seth Rollins. Okay, he can cheat to win, but he actually beats him. Then the attack happens, everyone comes out, and then Seth's left in the ring. What do I do? What do I do? Now, either one or two things would happen. He would either switch that night and go with NXT, which I think would be amazing. Or you'd see him, it would end with him in the middle of the ring or on the ramp, looking conflicted. What does Seth Rollins going to do? What's he going to do? We had no idea because we didn't see Seth Rollins for the rest of this segment. So how the hell are we going to know what Seth Rollins is going to do? I am, though, going to give Raw an up for this today. You know, it's generally been good. It was decent. But if the match quality was better and the crowd were better, I think this show, you know, would have been actually a really, really good show. But it started great, blended in, and by the end it was, I'd say, good but predictable. So there you have it from my point of view, guys. But by all means, do comment below. Do tell me where you agree, where you disagree. Please, of course, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on Thursday for my Wednesday Night Raw review for Week 6. See you later.